Welcome all to this episode of discussing about what exactly professionalism is all about and how can one reach the level of professionalism. With me today, I have Asawari Puranik with me. Welcome, Asawari.
Hello, hi. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for coming actually on such a short notice.
No problem.
Great. So today we are going to understand these steps about how exactly you reach a level of certain professionalism. Asawari, the first question goes, could you please tell our viewers what exactly you are working on today?
Sure. I would like to start by saying that I'm in the data analytics industry for almost close to 5 years now. And I've had the chance to work on in fact, all phases of the analytical project life cycle. I've had a chance to work with multiple MNC companies, have international exposure with international clients.
Wow.
And I would like to emphasize on the fact that all this started with almost, no experience, no direction of how I'm gonna shape my career. So actually the question you asked, makes me go down the memory lane from where I started and where I am. And I think I'm in a good place right now. And, so yeah, that's my journey.
Yeah, so nice to know. So it looks like you're a professional now and at a quite early age. But today, for my viewers, I'm very curious and I would like to now go straight down to step 0.
Okay.
And we would like to understand throughout this podcast today that what exactly is this journey like. And I would like my viewers not to write off here in any point of the journey, as in, Asawari, you are at this level, so probably I can't even reach there. So with that thought in mind, would you please tell us step 0, what I mean is what was your educational journey and how did you come into this field of analytics?
Well, from education point of view, I am a computer science graduate. I completed my bachelor's in computer science in 2019.
Okay.
And at that point, being a computer science graduate, there's so many subjects that are taught to you in college, right? So many open options. There's databases, there's front end, there's networking, operating systems, all of that. And the only thing I knew when I passed out of college was that I am good in SQL. I like writing SQL, and I came across the MSBI course from Opine, of course, wherein SQL was, it was given a high weightage. It got me interested. It's a skill I like, it's a skill I know. I wanted to hone it, and that's when my journey into this data analytics field actually started, because that's where I came across terms like business intelligence, ETL, visualization, which are pretty much non-existent in college.
So just a quick clarification. You mean to say that SQL was taught to you in your school or college, but you again had to learn here in Opine, as you mentioned. So what's the difference between learning because you actually completed it?
I would say that, SQL as a language, you learn in college, the basic syntaxes, the basic use of SQL. But when you want to enter the industry, it's always different than the college level versus the industry level. In industry, you need to use SQL to perform certain operations, to enhance certain business processes, to maintain certain data quality.
Right.
And when you need to do that, you need to know much more than the college level education you get.
Okay.
So that's why you kind of need to go back into the classroom phase, but that's not like a step back.
Okay.
It's always a learning phase.
So just a learning from a professional standpoint.
Exactly.
Okay.
No matter if you're starting, you're 10 years into your career, 15 years into your career, you're always learning new things.
Right.
So in my journey, the first, I would say the step into analytics came with learning Microsoft Business Intelligence, where I learned, like I said, the terms like business intelligence, ETL, visualization. And that was kind of my entry point. That's my first step into data analytics, because that's where I landed my first professional project in the industry.
Okay. That's so nice. So pretty much anybody who is at college level would actually get intense if they like it, The passion can be found out while you are learning with practitioners, which is what exactly happened for you.
Exactly, yes. Yes.
So pretty much a lot of our students are at this stage. I'm still curious about how did you actually move on in your career with some basic projects, because I'm sure you would have had a project journey before this stage where you are.
Yeah,
so I'm curious to know, you were in classroom, you learned a lot of things, you pretty much learned from professional standpoint, and how did you now enter into the project, and what was your attitude like when you were on these projects?
Okay, so like you rightly mentioned, learning from professionals, learning from practitioners, basically that's the difference. Learning in school, learning in college is learning a subject, and now that you're learning from practitioners who have been in the industry for a while, who know industry level, have industry level knowledge, that's where you understand how the same thing that's learned in college can be enhanced. Right? But what I would like to focus on is, as a fresher or as an entry-level developer, you are 90% of the time you are expected to do one thing. You have pitched that you are fluent in a language. Let's say you are a SQL expert or a Python expert, or you're fluent in an ETL tool or a visualization tool like Azure or Power BI, whatever. So when you're a fresher, you are expected to deliver on technical requirements.
Right.
The technical requirements are given to you: create this dashboard, create this pipeline, write this query, create a stored procedure, and you are expected to deliver it because you have the technical knowledge.
Correct.
Right? So I would say at the entry level, the most important thing is to have a good hold over the tool or the technology that you are currently pitching, that it's your strong point.
Right.
But in every stage of your career, you can be like everyone else, or you can hope to add some value, do something that will put you apart from most people your age, your experience. So I would say that the value add I discovered in my experience, the value add you can have in this entry level or starting point of your career is that just because you're working on a tool, even if it's a live project, even you're working on the tool, doesn't mean you know the tool inside out.
Okay.
You might not have used it to its full capacity. So basically, have it somewhere in your mind that there's still a lot to learn even in the tool that you claim to have expertise in. Right? At the same time, at the early stage of your career, if you understand that instead of being master of one single tool or technology, being jack of all trades is going to give you an advantage. Why? Is because if you have a project in Power BI, right? You know Power BI well, you can do whatever you need to do in Power BI. Tomorrow your company or organization says that there's another project that we want you to work on. It's a visualization project, but it's on Tableau.
Okay.
Right? Now you don't have expertise on Tableau. What do? Do you back off? Do you shy away? Or do you say, it's just another visualization tool?
Absolutely.
If I can do Power BI, I can do Tableau.
Right.
So that confidence is going to come if you keep learning, if you keep trying to be jack of all trades, or you keep having that thought that there's much more to learn in the current tool as well.
Right.
It's going to give you a big advantage right from the beginning of your career. That's my experience.
That's a great sharing actually. So it often comes to my mind when the students come here, they say that, hey, I want to learn Power BI. When they learn Power BI or Tableau, you pretty much are looking out for a job in Power BI. But that doesn't seem the case. It could be any tool.
Yep.
Now a typical analogy which comes to my mind is like you learn balance, you learn a two-wheeler, and then by the time you are a pro in the industry, you might actually ride a Enfield or a Bullet or some fantastic bike, and you don't have to go back to any classroom though.
Exactly.
So you got your basics right, and you don't know what's going to come, and you got to work on.
Yep.
So looks like what you shared
whether
is
whether it's a Pulsar, whether it's a Royal Enfield, it's just another bike.
Absolutely.
If you know how to ride one bike, you know how to ride all the other bikes in the world.
Great.
It's
so
the methodology.
You want to say that when you were learning, you were also learning the methodology when you were actually learning some technology like Power BI or SQL as you mentioned.
Right.
So thank you so much for sharing that. Now going ahead, with this concept in mind, how did you now learn when you got onto the next project? Did you get exposure to an international market, and were you scared of that, or the things which you learned came handy? What exactly did this happen? So I'm like, now you are already talking about your first projects out of college were over, and now you are onto your next journey.
Yeah.
Did you actually come across any international market here?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And I would like to also say that, like I mentioned, the phases of your career, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the phase where you've been in this particular field for about, a couple of years now. You've got the feel of the industry, you've got the feel of the technology, the, other tools in the market, stuff like that. Again, what is the value add you can have at this particular stage? Now is the time when you can promote yourself from a developer who delivers on what he's told to deliver versus a consultant who knows what he's delivering, why he's delivering.
Okay.
Right? So this is the phase where you need to start asking questions like, I'm designing a pipeline, right? I'm designing an ETL solution. Why exactly am I doing this? Why exactly am I designing this solution? What's the purpose? What's the end goal? Once you know that, you need to analyze what would you need in order to accomplish it in the best possible or the most efficient manner.
Yeah.
Right? So you've officially transitioned from a developer to a consultant who can use his or her experience or learnings, who can put them in action and deliver better, deliver efficiently, deliver faster.
Great.
Right? So I think when you put in that experience in picture or in play, in action, that's when you start to get the recognition. That's when people want to put you in spotlight, when people want to give you exposure, like, talk to the client, get requirements from the client. That's when you get exposure to international clients.
Fantastic.
And stuff like that. So that's when I got my international client exposure as well.
Yeah.
When I started asking these questions, when I started questioning why I'm doing and what I need to do in order to accomplish, because we've already focused on how to do it for the last couple of years.
Right. So that's very well said actually. Because you are now keen to know why are you in this project, or for that matter, why was this project even formulated. I think people are not hiring you because you are a Power BI expert or a ETL expert, because they want to solve their business problem. The business at the end of it would like to solve their problem, no matter which tool you use. So that's very well said. So if you know why you are doing this and you already know how to do it, you could blend it together and move ahead.
Exactly.
That's very nice. But now when you are actually moving from a developer to a consultant, as you said, do you just stop learning, or learning you continue? How exactly you manage to keep up to the speed?
Similar to what I said earlier, right? Learning never stops. Whether you are new, whether you are experienced, whether you are close to retiring from the data analytics industry, you have to keep learning, whether it's a new technology, because we are in an industry where technology keeps changing continuously. Few years ago, people used to have on-premises systems. Now they have cloud and all sorts of. There's technological advancement, and there's just so many things that you can pick up from people around you, from seniors around you. So the learning journey always continues.
Right. So that definitely helps.
Definitely.
So
Yes.
and does age matter here? Because you started fairly right from your college days. But what if someone wants to enter the field of analytics a little later in their career?
Yeah, sure. I mean, just because my stage zero started when I was 21, 22, doesn't mean everyone stage zero should start from that particular age group. I have so many of my colleagues who are older than me in age and experience, but have relatively lesser experience than me in the field of analytics. I see they are in a great place in their own careers as well. So no matter if you're starting when you're 20, when you're starting when you're 30, what matters is you have that fire in you. You want to learn, you want to be in the industry, you want to cope up with the changes in the industry.
Great.
If you have that fire in you, You can join at the age of 20, you can join at the age of 40.
Yeah.
I mean, age is just a number, right?
Yeah, so basically now that you have learned these techniques or you are keeping up in your learning phase, and when you are today working in this international arena, how do you think, what other skills are actually helping you be up there?
Sure. Just as much as the technical competency is important, it's 90% important, of course, because that's what you do on a regular basis.
Right.
I would say a soft skill that is, always neglected, or it doesn't take that much of a limelight, is communication. If there are two people in the project, both of them at the same level, both of them are really good at what they do technically, but one of them can communicate the issues in the project, the success, the milestones in the project efficiently and in a concise manner, in the best possible manner to the client, to the company, that person is definitely going to get an advantage. Right? In my career, I have noticed in my personal experience that if you are communicating the way seniors would, you want to be at a senior level, you want to be with business level people, you need to observe how they speak, how they talk, how they put their points forth. If you learn from that, you observe, you learn, you will realize that people who are at the same experience level, the same age maybe, they might not interact with international clientele, they might not sit with the business level people, they might not be there, in requirements gathering or those stages of the project, because they may not be able to communicate that effectively, right? So I have had people tell me that, okay, you be in this meeting, we want you.
So nice.
Right? So if you realize that you are getting the exposure or the chance to talk to business level people while people of the same experience around you are not, that's your indication that you are going on a path that's the best possible path for you at this point of time. So I would definitely say that communication plays a very, very important role in giving you the edge in whatever you're doing.
Thank you so much for sharing that. But I'm wondering now that many of our students are not necessarily fluent in English. Would you suggest, if they are good at the local language or any regional language, would they still be able to cope up?
Yeah, definitely. So there's two points that I would like to put forth. One is learning English, learning professional English or fluent English is not that hard. I would like to mention something that I personally believe. The amount of English you learn in school cannot be compared to the amount of English you learn while watching English movies or watching a series or watching people communicate with each other. Be open to learning or observing, and just keep upgrading yourself. That is going to help. Coming to your actual question, it's not just the language, it's your thought process that you need to communicate. Right? You need to tell, you need to make sure that the points that are in your head, the thought process that you have gone through is communicated efficiently. तो मैं एक बात अगर हिंदी में बोलूं, अगर मुझे जो बोलना है वो आप तक अच्छे तरीके से पहुंचे, तो मैं हिंदी में बोलूं, मैं मराठी बोलते, or I talk in English. If you understand what I'm saying,
बढ़िया, I'm able to follow.
If there's absolutely no problem, no confusion in what I am saying, why I am saying it. It doesn't matter if I talk in Hindi, if I talk in Marathi, English. The point needs to be communicated.
I see your point, because internationally when we work, I have seen people from European countries, Chinese countries. So it's not just about India. People are not necessarily fluent in English, but they are proficient in their business.
Exactly.
So if you know what you want, or if you know how to do it, then there are ways to communicate. And then language you can pick up, because it's people in various parts of the world, they pick up the language.
As long as you can stay strong about what you're doing, why you're doing, and that's the right thing to do. If you can stand your ground, it doesn't matter if you're speaking Chinese or Korean or English or Japanese.
Great.
People will appreciate your skills.
Thanks, Asawari, for sharing the entire path right from your school or college days to the place where you are. How would you summarize or give them some feedback from your side or some suggestion about how should they learn and continue learning as they try to grow in this path?
to anyone at any age, at any point in their career, coming into the field of analytics it might seem like a very hard thing to do. It might be intimidating. It may be so because you're starting, but trust me, if you have the will to learn new technologies, if you are curious about how things work, why businesses are successful, if you find yourself asking these questions, why did this business grow so much, why did they not make it, if you find yourself being curious, I think you can come into this field. The only thing that you would want to keep doing, no matter what part of or what phase of your career you are in, is be open to learning new technologies, new tools, adapt to the changes, and never ever shy away from committing to something, saying that, what, I can do it.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much, Asawari, for giving your guidance here.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
So friends, we just heard how Asawari went from her college days to the pinnacle of her career. She exactly took the steps which she should have taken about how to learn the practitioner's approach, how to be at her best when you are working in the career, how to understand the business requirements, how to use the technology, how to keep learning yourself, not to forget the way you communicate. It's not about the language, but how exactly you communicate. Friends, this was a thrilling experience, and I'm sure each one of us should learn this, understand this, and implement this in your career. By the way, it is not about the age. You can learn when you are in college, or even when you are laterals, you have about 5-10 years of experience, you can still get into the career and reach the pinnacle of your career. So friends, understand this and implement this. And by the way, if you have not heard the basics of data analytics, then we have another podcast. I request all the viewers to listen to that as well. So please subscribe to this channel, and we look forward to listening many more podcasts. Happy learning.